Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. It's now Friday the 24th of July. Where is the year going? Heading home at 5:20 actually. That's not bad for me, is it? Alright, let's just do a quick spin round. Oh, very nice. For a change, instead of going around the houses. And we shall head along and drop those little Hermes parcels off in the machine. First job, and then we can do Mr. Ellis's words of wisdom and just head home, basically. Done for the week. So it's been quite a reasonable week. It's not been as hectic as previous weeks. But it's still been busy, just not like crazy madness. And thanks to such a large amount of roasting already done, I didn't need to do a load more roasting this week. So I've only used the 30 kilo on Monday for about 5 or 6 batches, about 120 kilos. And then the 5 kilo on Tuesday for, I think, 5 batches then, so probably about 25 kilos. Not too bad, but we'll see what next week brings. I know I need to do some big batches on Monday because stocks are now running low on a lot of roasted coffee, so I need to build that up again. So I will be busy on Monday. And of course it all depends on what comes in, so we'll see about that as well. Right, let me get rid of these parcels because that is important, and then we can get on with Mr. Nellis after that. See you in a minute. Okay, so we managed to do the amazing parcel drop. Get that out of the way. So now it's time for Mr. Nellis's words of wisdom. So, my Apple name, you can change your name for Siri and things. I mean, Boyd changed it once something, and I put it back to Coffee. Just call me Coffee. It's fine. I've just realised Callum's changed it yet again, and now it says my name is Hello Peppa Pig, I miss you and your mum. So that is what my iPhone now thinks I'm called. Hello Peppa Pig, I miss you and your mum. So, cracks me up. Mr. Nellis says, my things for you to talk about on your vlog. Me as I've watched Dracula starring Gary Oldman. Oh, but that's a good one. Might have to watch that myself sometime. The Queensbury Road incident. Yes, I didn't really read a lot. It was a bit bizarre. And it was kind of in a flat or something, I think. What actually happened, but there you go. Me as I've been to La Luna with my mum on Thursday evening. Oh, I bet that was nice, Richard. How old is Callum? Is 10, Richard. Callum is 10. Let's get going. So last weekend, I had a pretty hectic, busy weekend at work. As I think I mentioned last week in the vlog, I'd prepped up moving out all the sacks and everything from the area where we sort of bag up all the green coffee and weigh it out into kilo bags with the machine that we have for that. And my plan was to do some painting around the walls and then put down some rubber non-slip flooring that I'd got, which was hopefully going to cover quite a large area of that sort of bit of area, because it was all just bare I mean, most of the area is bare concrete anyway, but that particular bit was bare concrete. But I think, because it's quite bizarre, it's just kind of that section in that bit of room that it's like they haven't put like a membrane down. So when they concreted that particular bit, they didn't put like a waterproof, damp-proof membrane down.
Check speed.
And consequently, that room's concrete, you get like a real wet moisture coming through it. Absolutely soaks through it, does. And it's the weirdest thing about it is it doesn't always do it when it's raining. It'll do it just randomly. Like, it can be sort of like a warm day. We haven't had any rain this, well, we've had a bit of rain this week, but not huge amounts, off and on. But it'll like start coming up through the concrete, this sort of dampness. And I've gone all wonky now. Yeah. So that really was quite annoying. It doesn't look good. And the bare concrete itself just kind of looked quite not pleasant as well. I mean, some of the areas it's just white concrete, and that's, you know, that's fine for me. It's just a hard wearing usable surface. But I say in this one bit, it just tends to get this like dampness residue to it, and it wasn't very nice. I wanted to get it covered up and make it look tidier. So I'd pulled all that stuff out, all the green coffee, and moved out of the way, so I got a nice clear space. Then Saturday I moved the two tables were in that area, making use of my pump truck to lift them and move them around, and set to work painting. Painting took longer than I expected, really, but there was a lot of area to paint, to be fair, so it was gonna always be a hard job. So I got on with the painting. I got there about 11, and then come 4 I had to walk down and pick some bits up from Tesco's in town. Thought I'd do that and get some fresh air at work, you know. So I headed down, did that, came back, carried on one bit with my painting. I was starting to run out of the Santex paint, and I was eager to get my flooring down. So I thought, right, I'm getting my flooring ready now, because I've painted most of the area where I was expecting to put the flooring. So I unrolled that, all expecting there to be loads, and I was really disappointed because there wasn't anywhere near as much as I was expecting. It like covered one bit of an area, and I thought it was going to cover way more than that. So I even looked at my order. It was like, I'm sure I'm supposed to have 3 of these, and then I realised they were selling 1 metre sections, so I'd ordered 3 metres by 2.2 metres, and that's exactly what I'd got. So I don't know, I think somehow I got lost in like areas and dimensions and whatever else when I was measuring out, and I hadn't at all I hadn't accounted for what I needed. So the good news was it covered what I thought would be the worst area, but it didn't really make sense to then leave so much other area not covered. So I did some hasty Saturday early evening puzzling, looking about, and I found what would be the cheapest lino that looked half decent in B&Q, which was in 4 metres squared section, and the dark one they didn't have enough rolls of. They only had 1, and that wasn't going to do all the area I wanted. So I ended up having to go for a lighter one, but actually I prefer the lighter one now because it helps light, you know, painting everything white's lightened up the room, and this sort of light grey effect, it's like a wood grey effect, lino lightens it up as well, because the thick non-slip rubber flooring I got, that's a light grey anyway. So come 7 o'clock on Saturday night, I was away down B&Q picking up more paint. Well, I'd run out of paint, so I needed more paint anyway, and these 3 rolls of lino. So gets them back to work and started laying them out, and the 3 really finished off what I'd started perfectly. It ran all the way up from where sort of the offices are to the top where the sink is, that's getting revamped when I meet my new units for that.
Warning, risk zone,
so
speed limit 30 miles per hour.
That kind of worked, but it then still left a big section across to the right, to the wall, that was just the bare concrete again. At which point I thought, well, I can't just leave it like that. I'm not buying even more flooring because I don't think we need it. You know, what I wanted to do is there, and the rest of it isn't really walked on so much, we're just storing stuff on it. So we did have a tin of red floor paint that we brought with us when we moved in that building from Pelham Lane. So it's probably a good 15 years old, this, and it's a 20 litre, it's a big massive tin, it's a 20 litre tin, so it's a substantial thing. Floor paint, so I thought I'll just paint the rest, you know, the other side with floor paint, and that'll be reeds. So opens it up, and it's got like, although it's a massive huge drum like tin, it's got this little screw cap, and you pull that and then you lift it, and it's got this like little rubber tube that comes out, and then there was obviously one of those pull seals in that, so I pulled that out, and I'd sort of given it a slosh about, and I could still hear paint liquid sloshing, so I thought, well, it's still liquid, it's all right. So I got myself a stick that would fit through the little tubey bit, and it hit solid, because of course, you know, paint, when it gets old, you get that crust on top where it like starts drying on top, but underneath it'll be all right, but the top bit's got this solid crust. So of course,
warning, K-band,
I put this stick through and I'm hitting solid and thinking, right, I need to get through this. So I'm away bashing with this stick. I broke the stick twice trying to bash through it, and eventually the 3rd try, oh, Mr. Nellis, you're going to be pleased about this one. It's the man who runs in pink. Woohoo! Oh, you're gonna love him. So so I managed to break through into this paint, so got through finally. So I'm giving it another good swill about and shake about to try and mix it up as much as I could, given it's been sat for so long. And I got the emptied paint tin from the Santex I've been using on the wall, so I got that and started to pour it in, and it did look A, particularly thin, and B, particularly grey, which was interesting, as it said it was red floor paint on the tin. And I'm fairly sure that floor paint doesn't change colour as it ages. I don't imagine that could possibly happen. So I suspect, because I believe we acquired this when we were on the other industrial estate, when some gypsies came round selling some cheap floor paint. So I suspect they don't got it cheap because it was marked up as red, but it was actually grey. Although why someone could have just put a sticker over the red saying grey instead, I don't know. That would have worked as well. But anyway, so starts pouring it out into the tub. But of course the next problem is I've only created one little hole in it, and obviously it's not wanting to come out, because as soon as the liquid fills that hole, it gets like an airlock. So then I ended up finding a really long drill bit, thick auger drill bit that would reach in again further back from where my stick went, so I can then make a new hole further up to let it come out. It's all a bit of a malarkey, this is, especially bearing in mind we're now getting on to 7:30 on a Saturday night. But of course I wanted to get it painted because I needed to put all the stuff back where I was painting, and to do that I needed for it to be painted and then dry overnight, hopefully, so when I came in Sunday I'd be able to move the stuff about. So I had to get on with the job. You can't just half leave it. So made the other hole, and finally I got a decent glug of the stuff out into this tub, so way off to paint it. Now I've got to admit, it went down a heck of a lot quicker than I expected, but then again, when you're just slapping what was pretty runny paint on a floor and they just like blast back and forth with a brush, it's pretty simple, to be fair. You know, it's not hard work and it goes down pretty quick. You just slab it along, spread it about, move back, and you're away. So I got really well on with that. Whoa, man. And it went down fine, but it stank. It had a really, you know, strong chemical paint smell. And I've been wearing like a standard industrial mask for doing the spray painting at the time of night, and given I was just trying to get on with this thing and whatever else, I'd not really thought about it, so I'd just been slapping it on. I'd not put no mask on or anything, and in hindsight that was probably a ridiculously bad idea, but I've never really used floor paint before, so I didn't really know what to expect with it. So long story short, it really was quite a pungent. Oh dear. Oh, that's gone badly wrong, hasn't it? Yeah, any chance you'd like to move all your bits of materials? Yes, thanks. While breaking. So, it basically was a very nasty chemically painty smell, and it did kind of dry enough on Sunday to move stuff back, but also I had to like drill into concrete 40 holes for this rubber mat, and then put raw plugs in to screw it down so it was all held down and wasn't libbing up and wouldn't trip people up. So that was a bit of a trial. Because on the Sunday it did really stink in there as well of paint, and I was doing like physical labour as well as breathing it in, and I still didn't wear a mask. But since then, Sunday night through Monday, still a little bit today, I've had a corking headache just constantly. So I don't know if I poisoned myself with the floor paint or what. So, but there's loads of it left and loads of places I need to paint it, so I'm gonna have to try wearing a mask next time and not kill myself up. Right, that's me done. Have a good weekend and week next week, and I'll catch you in next week's coffee vlog. Okay, see ya.